Finally, summer vacation. I've already done a good deal of research online, read through a few hiking books, and downloaded a mountain permit application from the National Police Administration website. My friends and I have plans for a mountain hike along the Forest Bureau's National Trail linking Xiangyang through Sansha to Jiaming Lake. Checking weather conditions before we left, I was pleased that the forecast for our hike called for clear, sunny skies. Leaving traffic and the city behind, I thoroughly enjoyed the drive up forested roads to the Xiangyang National Forest Recreation Area. We stopped by the local police precinct first thing after arriving to turn in our hiking permit application. The permit lets the police know our planned schedule and intended route, so that if we hit trouble during our hike, the authorities will know where to look. The trail we will follow on this 2-day hike has 2 overnight cabins and plenty of freshwater streams. We'll still bring a tent because cabins may not have enough space. This trail is very popular with hikers during summer break. After packing and checking our gear, we're ready to start out. The 50-minute walk from the visitors center to the trail entrance takes us past cascades of wildflowers, welcoming the start of our journey. Crossing a narrow bridge, we enter the forest's serene embrace. As our path takes us through the Guanshan Wildlife Preserve, hikers are asked to help safeguard the area's environment and respect all flora and fauna encountered. After a 40-minute walk through a red pine forest, we arrive at Xiangyang Cabin. The cool brook nearby feeds Xinwulu stream below. At 2,858 meters above sea level, Xiangyang Cabin may be a good place to overnight if you are new to alpine hiking or have any concerns about proceeding further before nightfall. Resting here will help you recharge, let your body adjust to the higher altitudes, and reduce the risks of mountain sickness. Hikers are responsible to ensure trail cabins are well maintained for others' enjoyment and safety. Please prepare food only in designated areas, and keep the surrounding environment and streams at least as clean as you found them. Take trash with you, and be sure to close all doors and windows when you leave. Forest Bureau trails are well maintained, with destinations and distances posted on frequent signposts. Do not stray onto side trails, and if you do get lost or are not sure in which direction to turn, don't panic. Retrace your steps to a familiar spot or stay put and call out loudly for assistance. Another 60-minute walk takes us to a small clearing known as Hao Hao Pond Campsite. Hikers sometimes pitch tents here when necessary. The stream nearby flows year-round, but high levels of bacteria and extraneous matter mean that water should be consumed only after being filtered well and boiled. 40 minutes more in the direction of Xiangyang Mountain takes us to the ridgeline. Weather at these heights can change quickly and dramatically, and mists often billow up and across mountain slopes. Use a GPS, compass, or good hiking map to keep yourself on course in a heavy fog. Not much further along, we pass a somber stretch of dead trees, killed off in a forest fire. Although the fire was sparked by natural causes, these bleached white trunks admonish us to protect fragile mountain ecologies from smoldering campfires and other fire risks. Mountain forests ravaged by fire take hundreds of years to recover. Arriving at the fork in the main trail leading to the top of Xiangyang Mountain, we can finally set our heavy packs down for a while. We'll just take some trail snacks and water for our detour to the summit. Approaching the summit, we must walk extra carefully across a slope littered with stone shards. Our feet check every stone to make sure it is steady before stepping on it. Xiangyang Mountain is both steep and wide. Winds blowing across these ridges pull a blanket of mist over the area. We retrace our steps back to the main trail and continue forward through another field of broken stones. We are now not far off from Jiaming Lake Cabin. Fire extinguishers and oxygen tanks stored in the cabin's office are for emergency use. We enjoy a simple warm lunch at Jiaming Lake Cabin, a welcome start for an afternoon of relaxation and rest. Mists billowing up from the valley below are tinged in brilliant, warm hues of an alpine sunset. Temperatures dip, and we add extra layers of clothing before digging into a warm dinner. The still, early evening air is pierced by happy conversation and laughter. In Taiwan's mountains, temperatures fall around 0.6 degrees Celsius for each additional 100 meters in elevation. At 3,350 meters above sea level, summer nights at Jiaming Lake Cabin average 10 degrees Celsius, and winter temperatures often dip to 0 degrees Celsius. The temperature difference and strains of the hike from the trail entrance at 2,300 meters into mountains over 3,300 meters above sea level make mountain sickness a real risk. Air pressure drops with increased elevation. Symptoms often experienced in low-pressure, oxygen-deficient environments include those associated with acute mountain sickness, AMS, high-altitude pulmonary edema, HAPE, and high-altitude cerebral edema, HACE. Hikers may use Lake Louise acute mountain sickness to assess whether they are suffering from mountain sickness. Hikers should take special precautions if the following describes their condition. 1. They are at a high altitude. 2. They are experiencing a headache. And 3. They have any one of the following additional symptoms: dizziness, insomnia, nausea, vomiting, or physical weakness. Also keep in mind that other altitude-related illnesses, aside from AMS, include altitude pulmonary and cerebral edemas. Symptoms of high-altitude cerebral edema, HACE, include difficulty in keeping balance while walking, being unable to walk toe-to-heel for 6 paces, and mental confusion. Symptoms of high-altitude pulmonary edema, HAPE, include difficulty in breathing, dryness in the mouth and throat, and chest heaviness. If you experience these or the other symptoms mentioned, it's best you return with a partner down to a lower altitude. The faster upward the hike, the greater the likelihood of mountain sickness. The best way to treat someone suffering from AMS is to get him or her to a lower altitude, where symptoms should significantly improve and gradually dissipate. Early detection, diagnosis, and treatment are critical for someone suffering from AMS. Key principles of treatment include: 1. Rest. Resting reduces the body's consumption of oxygen. 2. Leave your high-altitude location. If conditions permit, get to a lower altitude as quickly as possible. 3. Adjust the conditions causing AMS. Administer oxygen or increase atmospheric pressure using a hyperbaric chamber. 4. Pharmaceutical therapies. Administer medicine as instructed by your team doctor or through communications with a remote medical unit. Dawn's rays slice across the ridgeline of distant mountains as we cross a field of arrow bamboo. Another hour and we will reach Xiangyang's northern peak. The only part of the trail with a strong cell phone signal, this is a good time to give friends and family a call to tell them how things are going. Tracing the thread-like trail that unwinds before us, we pass through a fir forest, the gateway to Sencha Mountain. From our unobstructed view at the summit, nature's beauty spreads out like a majestic carpet in all directions. Continuing on, the gentle descent takes us through a wide grassy plain. I know we are not too much further from Jiaming Lake. Jiaming Lake, set in a high mountain valley, is fed by rainwater. Any cooking or camping here threatens to contaminate the lake and its environs. We must be extra careful not to leave anything here that does not belong. Awed by nature's unvarnished beauty, we bid farewell to Jiaming Lake. The return hike deserves the same high level of caution as when we came. Letting either fatigue or high spirits hinder good judgment could still result in trouble ahead. After hiking back to the cabin, we put everything back in its place and clean up the surrounding area. We take our food, garbage, used toilet paper, and food wastes with us, and cover over our makeshift latrine. Now, let's review the 7 principles of Leave No Trace, LNT. Leave no trace, LNT, means that visitors leave nothing behind in the mountains but shoe prints, and take nothing with them but their own happy, refreshed spirits. We hope all hikers follow this code of individual responsibility to ensure beautiful outdoor areas such as this can be enjoyed in beauty and safety for generations to come.